Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Scotty with Evil Castrigal. We're out here at Cherokee Park today, and we are asking the question, I'm sure you saw it at the top of the video, is a 13-year-old steel hardtail any good anymore? It's not a question anybody's really asking. But it's the question we're asking today because I bought one for $100 on Facebook Marketplace, and I've kind of fallen in love with it. So let's check it out, and I'll talk about why no, it's not any good, but we're gonna ride it anyway, and maybe it's all right. So let's go through the things that make this bike not good straight off the bat. The brakes, they're old. They weren't very good back in the day. But here they are. The head tube angle, just horrible. 71.5 degrees, super steep. The forks, 100 mil travel, which some cross-country bikes do still feature today. These are air, but they are old. So the rebound adjust, I can't get it to work anymore. But it feels all right with the amount of pressure that I'm running in them, which is stock spec, or I guess what the factory recommends spec wise for my heft frame. QR front and rear, that's not good. Narrow rims, so you can only get a 2.2 tire, which is fine for a cross-country bike. 3x10 drivetrain, old 3x10 drivetrain, no clutch. A lot of people don't like that. We'll see. I kind of think it might be all right. There it is. Time to get it on the trail. I did upgrade the bars, by the way, so those are good. This bike would have had like 100 mil stem on its stock, which is what I took off of it. It was crazy. The bars were like way out here, and they were only like 680 millimeters wide, which was wide for the day. Seat post, no dropper, although I have to say the saddle feels pretty good just riding around here. We'll see how it feels on trail. Without further ado, let's get this old beast onto the trail and we'll see how it does. It is a 29er, so that's good, right? All right, let's stop rambling. Let's get this steep steering tube having bike, that was hard to say, out on the trail, and we'll see how it feels out here. I'm excited. All right, let's get into it. All right, we are off on the Marin. Getting ready to jump into the trail now. One thing I noticed right away is the quick steering from this very steep head tube angle. And you can hear the fork. It's definitely in need of a rebuild. Sounds like it's got a squeegee in it. One thing I noticed right from the get up when I was setting this thing up is I rode away from the vehicle and the tires felt way too soft. Whew. I had my standard 21 in the front, 26 in the rear, but these old tires with these tubes, not thick enough to run that low PSI. I had to bump it way up to like 30 in the front and 38 in the rear. Now they feel okay, but I can still feel them wallow a little bit in some of this rough stuff. That's the thing I've noticed with this bike, and I'm sure this is just because 29ers were so new back when they made this thing, is the front wheel, when you're in a tight situation and you turn, if you're pedaling at just the right time, it will buzz the front insides of my feet, which is not good. I think they were just still figuring out the bike geometry back then. Slacker head tube angle definitely would help combat that. So far, I haven't noticed a real problem with the drivetrain. Chain retention seems okay. I haven't ridden anything super fast and rough yet, so we'll see how that holds out. Oh, our first derailment. Not a good one. That's a bad one. That's what you don't want to happen. Ah, shit. Huh. Okay. So, what we can't do is, right now the way it's adjusted, we cannot use granny gear. It's hopping right off the cog. Now we know. Maybe if we drop down to the smallest cog. There we go. Now we got, oh my God, it's crazy having that little cog. I don't know what the tooth count is. Feels like a 22. That's actually amazing. Oh, that makes it so easy. It's insane. Wow. Let's hop back to the middle. Wow. Maybe a 2x would be the way to go. This next trail, it's called Lower Hogan's. It's moderately rough. It's got some nice rock features. That should be just terrible on this bicycle. We'll see. Yeah. So far, not so bad. It's kind of like a steel billy goat. You can definitely hear that chain back there over some of this stuff. Definitely wish I had a dropper post, but if I'm being honest, this is still like totally fun. It's actually super fun. And the brakes got a really bad rap back in the day, but they work good. They work fine. Oh yeah. That was fun. There we go. All right, back to the little fun part here. I shudder to imagine what this bike would have been like with that long stem on it off-road. Horrifying is probably how it would have felt. Oh, this short stem, it actually feels pretty good. You know, the steering angle is too steep for some of the rougher
drops, aside from the squishiness of the fork, it actually doesn't perform too bad. The brakes will not lock up the wheels very easily. They do stop. That's one thing I've noted. Oh, on the road over to Seneca, you know, it got me thinking. Usually on my modern bike, I'll be tapped out in high gear right here, not going too fast. On this one, guess what I've got? A third humongous cog up front. Oh yeah. Clipping along all right. Whew. All right. See you later on in the trails. These smooth trails, they're kind of flowy. That's where this bike shines. You're hearing that rubbing. I don't know if that's the frame flexing with my fat behind on it, or if that's my fanny pack rubbing the tire. We're at the exit of the Seneca Trail system here. Head over to the golf course. I like this little flowy section here. It's really fun with hardtail, double this. Oh, very nice. That felt good, actually. Man, if this thing had a dropper seat, it would actually be really fun. I gotta tell you, as I'm riding stuff like this, the 2x or the 3x like this bike has, I think does still have it. It's still got its place in cross-country mountain biking. It's very useful on stuff like this. You can just kind of, sometimes you're on a 1x, you always feel like you're kind of hunting for that right gear. You know, it's either taking too much torque or not enough. It's kind of got me sold on this kind of stuff. Whew. Like right now. Ooh. Definitely wish I had a clutched derailleur. Only thing that sucks about this drivetrain is you hit a bump and the chain's going everywhere, man. The chain retention's just not as good as it is now. So maybe a 2x with a clutch derailleur, if you could do that, might be the way to go. Oh, right back downhill. This is where I wish I had a dropper. I can just feel that seat catching my bum every once in a while. And it kind of forces you up over the front more than you want to be. But not bad. Okay, so I am having loads of fun on this thing, way more than I thought I was gonna have. But I want to talk about something. You see that chain ring here? When I get down on this lower one, it's wanting to hop off to the inside. So this baby's wore out. That's all. Wore out. Probably needs a new drivetrain. I'm not hating on the 3x. I don't think it's the whole problem. I think it's just wore out. This thing is 13 years old, so you can't expect it to work perfectly. I've done nothing to it except buy it, so. All right. Downhill fun. Please, old chain, hold strong. All right, we just got done with the ride on the Marin hardtail, and man, I had a blast on that thing actually. So, question at the beginning of the video: is there any way the 13-year-old steel hardtail 29er is any good? We started the video with saying no. I mean, it's not very good, but I don't think it's not any good. I think it's actually pretty fun. It's a pretty fun bike to ride. Had a blast. A few things to take away. I mean, you can see how steep that steering angle is. The head tube angle is insane on this thing, and my front foot does buzz the tire in low speed areas. I noticed that a couple times under duress when pedaling. Also, down here on the lower end of my rear triangle, you can see how close that tire is. It's rubbing every once in a while, just right there. If I roll it some, it'll come away, see? But that wheel is out of true. I don't know if that happened during my ride or if it's always been like that. And the other thing, this drivetrain is just absolutely smoked. Sometimes it wants to come off the back cog here into the wheel, which is always super fun to fix when you're on trail. And sometimes it wants to come off all the way in your small cog into the bottom bracket, which isn't a huge deal, but it sucks when you're under duress while pedaling. Yeah, definitely gonna fix that. The fork, it definitely needs rebuild. It's got a squishy sound, which, you know, hey, I might try and do that myself this winter. And the other thing that I will say about this fork is it actually performed relatively well, other than the squishiness and the rebound not being adjustable. I mean, I actually have a little bit more to use, so pretty shocking. You know, it is an air fork, so actually worked really well. Or, well, it worked pretty good. It didn't feel any more stiff than my Fox 38 on the Ripmo. The saddle is amazing. Handlebars were a huge upgrade. The cockpit actually feels really good. The brakes don't lock up the wheels like I'm used to with my, I run, if you watch the channel, I run Shimano Saints on my enduro bike. I like super grabby brakes, and it doesn't get any more grabby than a Saint. So the Juicy's here, they stop, but they don't really lock up the wheel like I like. So they're not very lively feeling. But yeah, overall, I'm actually really impressed with this thing. So yeah, it's good. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the Marin, what you think maybe I ought to do with the Marin, what upgrades you think would be best. Like I said, I think I'm going to actually just rebuild the fork. I'm not going to mess with that, although maybe a lighter fork would make the bike feel better. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I should just get a new air fork or if I should rebuild that one. And drivetrain wise, I think I am going to go with a 1x, even though the 3x actually, it actually is nice to have those extra gears. So
I don't know. It's kind of nice to have those in between gears. It feels like, you know, you have 30 gears, so it feels like you have 30 gears, I guess. So I guess that's the one give and take when you go to the one by is you lose some of those in betweeners, right? But it's so unreliable, and you know, having to deal with derailment sucks. And it's going to be so much quieter with a clutch derailleur. So I think I'll end up putting a one by on it and maybe a dropper, because I know guys didn't run droppers back in the day, but once you get used to riding with a dropper and you go back to something like this, it's just scary on some of these downhills. It just, you know, sometimes that saddle comes up and hits you in the butt and feels like it's pushing you over the front. So I'm out on that, dog. I think a dropper seat's going to go on this thing. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for liking and subscribing to the channel. We continue to grow, and it's awesome. So big shout out to everybody that's been here for a while, and big shout out to you if you want to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more content like this, for more content on dirt bikes, street bike reviews, everything two wheels we do here at Evil Castrigal. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching. I'll check you later.